Okay. So, um, so like I said, so the Torah tells us that that Jacob resents being the younger brother and that he's after Esau's birthright in a number of ways. You know, that he's jealous of Esau's status, and maybe also for the jealous over the love of his father. Okay, so what I was asking is, how does the Bible clarify this to you? I mean, this is clearly the image that we get of Jacob. Okay, he's a resentful younger brother. Where did you get this impression?
So first, when they were born, and he tricks him out of his birthright with the stew or with the red stuff.
Wait, what do you mean when they were born?
So after they're born, Isaac was 6 years old when they were born. When the boys grew up, Esau.
Okay, but wait, when they were born?
Oh, when they were born, they were struggling in the womb.
Right, they were fighting in their mother's womb, and at the moment of birth, Jacob is chasing Esau. Okay, so even before they're born, he's fighting him, and when they're born, Jacob wants to come out first, but he doesn't get to. He's fighting, and he comes in second, despite as an infant wanting to come out first. He wants it first. He wants to be the first, and then comes this scene that you're describing in 25, 29.
Mm-hmm.
25, yeah, 20, 25, 29.
The ones when Jacob was cooking his stew.
Yeah, with where Jacob tries to, I guess that's not a trick, that's just a bargaining. Okay, the trick is with Jacob. That's a real trick. That's deceitfulness. Here he's actually quite open about it. Okay, he tries to buy Esau's birthright with a bowl of chili. Okay, and a lot of the deceitfulness, a lot of the blame for Jacob deceiving his father, I mean, that's a crime. It's a crime against Jacob. It's a crime against Esau, but it's definitely a crime and a dishonor against your father. Okay, and a lot of it is put at Rebecca's feet. She's the schemer. She is the deceitful one. She is the one who does this to Isaac. Okay, but you see here, all of this is a long time before Rebecca instructs Jacob on how to cheat his old father and steal Esau's blessing. So I think it's the Torah's way, it's the author's way of clarifying to us that it's not Rebecca. I mean, Rebecca is no saint. I mean, it's not. I don't know, maybe she is a saint, but you would not want her as a wife. I think we would, and also we probably wouldn't want her as a mother, unless you happen to be her favorite. But with all of her problems, the author is clarifying to us, this is not Rebecca. Rebecca didn't put Jacob up to this fraud. Okay, it was Jacob. Jacob's been after Esau's birthright since before they were born, since the birth, since in their childhood. Okay, and it's still that way today in their young adulthood. Okay, this is his ambition. It's been his ambition since he was born to be the first, to be the elder, to have the birthright. He wanted to get it himself, then he wanted to buy it, and he obviously these things don't work. It didn't work for him at the birth. It didn't work with the buying it. That doesn't have any legal validity. It won't convince Isaac to give Jacob the blessing, and so he's getting it another way. Okay, so the point is, we know that Jacob wants this. Jacob has this ambition. Okay, but the question for us is, why does Rebecca support it? Again, if you again, this is not a matter of speculation. If you look at 25:28.
Isaac favored Esau because he had a taste for game, but Rebekah favored Jacob.
So your translation has favored. The Hebrew says loved. And Isaac loved Esau because he brought game to his mouth. And Rebekah loves Jacob. Okay? So the father loves one son, the mother loves another. Okay? But why does she love him? And we're told why Isaac loves Esau. Because of the hunting, because of the game. Okay. Plus, it's the natural order of things for the firstborn to be preferred, to be elevated above the younger siblings. Okay, so the Bible tells us, look, the Bible didn't need to tell us that that Isaac preferred Esau. Of course, he's the firstborn. Of course he's preferred. But the Bible wants to tell us why Isaac loved Esau, on top of the custom. Okay, but it doesn't tell us why Rebekah loved Jacob. Okay, so what hint do we, what explanation do we have then for, again, this odd preference?
We do learn later that Jacob was mild. He stayed in camp. He knows how to cook.
Yeah,
so he stays in.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, we already know this. That's a good point. We in 27, and the boys grew up, and Esau was a man who knows hunting, a man of the field, and Jacob, a good man, a mild man who sits in the tent. Okay, so it might be that, again, so Esau is kind of masculine, and therefore the father loves him, and Jacob is more mild-mannered, less masculine, and therefore the mother loves him. But so that's one thing that Rebekah knows about these boys, their character. But what else does Rebekah know about these boys? Again, if you just look at, again, before the verse that says that she loved Jacob. Okay, so that's one thing. What you said is one thing she knows them. What else does she know?
The biblical God told her that the older shall serve the younger. Exactly.
Okay. So God in verse, when she had this this fight in her stomach between the two fetuses, okay, and God tells her, you have two peoples in your stomach, and they're fighting, and I mean they will become great peoples, and the older will serve the younger. Okay, so God already told her. So she knows two things. One, their character from the time they were born until now they're older. But she also knows, because God told her, she knows which son will be the winner and which son will be the loser. And she's the only one who knows this. Okay, she's the only one. So she knows that God favors Jacob. And she's the only one who knows this. Okay, so she has this inside information about which of her two sons will be special, will be better, will win out. And she attaches herself to him. Okay, so again, these are two different explanations. Is it simply the father, the man, loving the more masculine boy, and the mother liking the more I mean, I don't want to say effeminate, but the more beta, kind of the alpha boy and the beta boy, and the father loving the alpha and the mother loving the beta. And another explanation is that she knows that one son is God's favorite and will win out in this competition. And she, because look, the mother's response could have been different. Okay, if this son is getting all these gifts, I mean, think of your situation. If you know that one son is tall and handsome and strong and a great athlete, and you know because God told you that he's going to be wealthy and happy and successful and everything else, you might have your response might be the opposite, to have a warm spot for the loser of the two sons, because he doesn't have all these gifts. That's not okay. So these are two things to consider about Rebecca's character. How about Esau? And we'll finish with Esau, since with all these technical. I'm sorry about the computer. It just
no worries.
Completely went on the fritz. Okay, so we'll finish with Esau, and we'll do Jacob's characterization next time. So, what's your impression of him?
He's he doesn't think things through very much. Like the whole episode with him selling his birthright for a cup of stew, and he's kind of overblown that he feels like he's at the point of death. So what is my using my birthright to me anyways?
Yeah. So he's impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What else? What's just kind of a general, again, impression of the man?
I guess he's red and hairy and a good hunter. He's out. He's more, I guess, less civilized, more
earthy, less civil, more not savage, but more rough.
Right.
Or kind of cool. But is your impression of him? I mean, is he a bad guy? Is he a brute? Or is he just kind of coarse and rough and manly and hairy?
I get the impression he's just more coarse and rough. I don't know if he's a bad guy. I mean, he wants to kill his brother, but he feels cheated, even though he willingly gave up his birthright for a cup of stew.
Yeah, but let's take a look at when he finds out that Jake, when he wants to kill him. What did we say? It's 27, 20.
41. 27:41.
Yeah. So yeah. So read that.
Right before that we did.
Okay. When he finds out that his birthright, that his blessing was stolen.
So if we go back to 35, but he answered your brother Cain.
36. Yeah. So 35. He tells them. Yeah. So 36. Okay. So Isaac tells him that your brother came and with deceit took your blessing, and then 36. What do you have it as Esau's response?
It says Esau in brackets. Esau said, was he then named Jacob that he might supplant me these two times?
So in Hebrew, Jacob, Yaakov, Yaakov has this negative connotation of a following someone. Okay, just like Jacob followed Esau. In fact, so it's sorry. The Akev, Yaakov, Akev is the heel. Okay, so he's called Yaakov because he holds on to the heel of Esau. But to Yaakov also means to be a like a snake in the grass. Okay, like a heel. Okay, like a heel in English. Okay, so it's not a good name. But so when he says, where is it? 41,
36.
where is it?
36. I have. Well,
Oh,
Esau
36,
said,
yeah.
was he then named Jacob? That named Jacob, so he named Yaakov. That he might supplant
Yeah.
me these 2 times. Is supplant another from the same root as Jacob?
No, so it's yeah, so it's his name is Yaakov, and Yaakveni now twice. You know, he took my he took my birthright, and now he took my blessing. So Yaakveni mean he was my enemy. He was my kind of I can't think of an English word, but he kind of like he wronged me twice now. Okay, and using that root of the name of Jacob. Okay, but okay, so he says this, and now he took my blessing, and you're not giving me a blessing, and so it's just saying. Okay, so 38. So Isaac responds to him, and then in 38, Esau says to his father, "You only have one blessing. Bless me too, and bless me too, my father." And he raised his voice and wept. And Isaac then says, he gives him a blessing that is not a good blessing. And says that you will serve your brother. And then it says that Esau hated Jacob and wanted and said in his heart that he'll kill him. Okay, so he cries. So he asks, as he cries about his lost blessing, and he cries and asks for another blessing. And only when he gets the crappy blessing does he then hate Jacob and vow to kill him. Okay. Then after Jacob leaves, what does Esau do in 28:8-9?
Esau realized that the Canaanite women were displeased his father Isaac. So Esau went to Ishmael and took a wife in addition to the wives that he had.
Yeah. So he understands that his parents are unhappy with his choice of women, and he goes and marries a non-Canaanite woman in order to please or gain the approval of his parents. Okay, the mother who doesn't love him and helped his brother cheat him, and the father who gave his birthright or his blessing away. So going back to the question of, and this will become meaningful to us in the next story, the next episode with Esau, when Jacob and Esau meet again. Okay, but what's your these episodes in Esau's life, and when he's still in Isaac's household, what does it convey about his character?
He's impulsive and just kind of reacts to things. I guess he doesn't.
I mean, overall, like if you forget that this is Jacob and Esau, and because look, we know that Esau will have a terrible reputation later on. I mean, that the Edomites. Okay, but if you just look at this story of a young resentful brother and an older brother, the older brother is this manly kind of guy, hunts, etc., etc. What do I care about as a child, he sells away his birthrights for some stew. His younger brother, deceives his father and steals his blessing, etc. He's really upset. He understands that he displeased his parents with his choice of wife, so he tries to correct it. When he hears that Jacob was sent away to find a wife that's not a Canaanite. Again, forget that it's Esau and Jacob, but what's the overall impression you get of this brother, the older brother?
He doesn't know what he's doing. He's being told what to do. He doesn't have his own vision of what to do.
Yeah, look, you're right that he's not. Look, I think what you're getting at is that he's not calculating. Like he's not calculating. He's loaded. He's simple. Okay, he's straightforward, not simple. Okay, he's straightforward. Okay, he's basically he's living his life. And as he's living his life, his mother is scheming against him. His brother is scheming against him. His father, well, not scheming, but his father was kind of tricked. But Esau is just living his life. He's unaware, whatever, of all this intrigue that's happening underneath his feet. Okay, so he doesn't seem like of the two brothers, Jacob is the one who is scheming, thieving, lying. What's his name? Esau doesn't scheme against anyone. He doesn't lie. He's not aggressive. Okay, he's not cruel. He seems like a nice, simple fella who is in a family that, I mean, other than his father, but that his brother and his mother are working against him. Okay. In any case, so look, I want to raise this because in the next episode, when we meet Esau, Jacob is really fearful that Esau will kill him. Okay, and so look, you know the story. Esau will not kill him. Esau has moved on with his life. Okay, Jacob has not. Jacob is still living with that deceit, with what he did to Esau as a big thing. Esau, we'll see, has moved on, and he's happy to see his brother. Okay, and so it comes as a surprise to us in that scene. But in fact, if you think of, look, of course he's angry, and he says, "I'm going to kill that bastard." Okay, but if you think of his character, he's not. He's kind of rough, of course, but he's not a brute. He's not cruel. He's not a bad guy. He doesn't wish. He never wished Jacob ill. Okay, so he's certainly angry when he really was, wronged. But if you consider his character, that he's the way it seems to me, at least, he is here, then that next scene is actually not surprising. It's actually well within character. Okay, so look, so that leaves Jacob, who is a piece of work in his own right. So we'll characterize him next time solo, and go through his family drama within his own household. Okay,
Sounds good.
And look, when you read, I'll send you so the next readings are Genesis 25:19 to 35:29. And as you read, again, it's a great sprawling story, but read his conversation with God slowly, okay, to see what it is. It's some sort of agreement. Again, it's kind of like Abraham and God making an alliance, making an agreement. This is a new agreement with God and Jacob. And yeah, just read it carefully and see if there's a problem in this relationship, in the terms of this meeting. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Good. Sorry for going long.
No, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hopefully next. I still have all these electronic disruptions in my video, but so far so good. All right. Hopefully next time I'll be good. All right.
Sounds good. Thanks again. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye-bye. See you next week.
See you next week.